I have just gotten off of work and I wanted to talk about something regarding Ariana Grande. So, to be honest, I really didn't know what I wanted to record. Um, but I was scrolling through my Twitter and looking back at things that I tweeted, and I saw a retweet of, when I saw a tweet of Ariana Grande with a fan. So, yeah, here's the picture of her and the fan. As you can tell, the fan is relatively young. She is probably a child, most likely, and that's not the issue here. The issue is Ariana herself. So I know there's been a lot of comments over the past couple of years regarding Ariana's body and the shape of it. I generally, you know, don't really try and go after people's appearance because I know that they can't really help it. I know there's eating disorders and all that, and it can affect people in a plethora of ways. Like, you could be very skinny, like Ariana, or you can be very fat, um, whatever. Um, and I hope that sincerely everybody who is going through eating disorders is able to somehow get through it. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, here's how you get through it, like, right? But like, I hope that eventually, people who have something like that figure something out and that it eventually gets better. I'm sleep deprived, by the way. I'm taking a nap after this video is done. I'm so tired. I just got off of work. But anyways, I think it's very concerning, eh? Because honestly, at this point, I know there's a lot of people who, when they talk about Ariana Grande, and I used to kind of be like this. They were like, "Oh, gave her a fucking burger," and that kind of defeats the whole purpose of, like, you know what I think is the purpose. And by that I mean, I generally, when I see someone like Ariana, where they're just like their body is like so unhealthy, you know, telling them to do something like is not the way to go. It's like telling like an obese person to lose weight. Like, yes, they definitely should, but you know losing weight is a whole process, and I assume it could also be the same with gaining weight. I'm not an expert. I'm not like a doctor with this kind of thing, but I assume it's a little more complex than just eating food. You know, I don't know. There's like factors with eating disorders where it's like you just generally are not hungry ever, or like feel full at all times. I don't know, but you know, I think it's generally concerning how Aeona's fans, right? And I know not all of them are probably like this, so that's just the disclaimer. Um, well, anytime someone brings up Aeona, outside of the fact where it's like, oh, give her a burger. Like, I understand when they get, agitated at that. That's not a good comment to make. But when someone is objectively, like, concerned about, Ariana's current body, they're just like, stop hating on her appearance. It's not okay to body shame. Just let her be. She's not hurting anyone. It's like, well, she is hurting herself. And I know that's probably not something sound said verbatim, but that's basically what it feels like essentially. Where it's like, they don't see the issue with her body currently. And, like I said, I'm not, you know, trying to hate on Ariana at all. Um, but it's, it's just very concerning how they can just sit here and just kind of be like, you know, agree with people, I guess. It's just kind of scary how, they kind of enable her, even though Ariana's fans don't have an effect on Ariana herself because they're just a bunch of random obsessive people to her, which is very creepy, obviously. just as any other pop artist, which now I think about it, I want to do videos someday about talking about the obsessive, you know, the obsessive, pop star stan people and just celebrities in general, where people are just so obsessed over famous people. Not even just pop stars, just it can even be athletes as well. I guess those can count as celebrities, but anyways, back to the point. Yeah, I just think it's scary how they also don't really have that same kind of concern. The only thing they're concerned about is being like, hey, if we think you're making fun of Arianna, which a lot of people do for her weight, which is fucked, then we fucking hate you and you should die. And, it's fucked. Like I said, I feel like this is the part of the video where I'm going to repeat myself, but I don't like how they go about it, where they're just kind of like, stop body shaming Arianna. It's her body. Leave her alone. It's like, that's not helping the situation though. Like, she is quite literally skin and bones. And that is nerve-wracking. Like, I generally would not be surprised. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, I want this to be a reality, but I would not be surprised, like, within 5 or 10 years, it becomes a point where Arianna is just at such an unhealthy point in her life where she's literally knocking on death's door, or has not already, passed away from her weight situation. Like, there comes to be a point when weight gets so small that it's unhealthy. People always talk about, like, oh my god, like, the heavier you are, the more unhealthy you are, which is true, but, like, it could be it can very much be the same for, like, the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like, if, you're thin and you're frail and you're weightless, basically, that can just be just as deadly, It's like scary as fuck. But yeah, so hopefully if any Ariana Grande fans are watching this video, no hate towards Ariana. I know that's the main concern, but just as an innocent bystander who, just is concerned for a human being's health and life, I guess. Even though I don't know Ariana, does not mean that, I can't be concerned about her health, I guess. And even though she's a celebrity, it still doesn't take away the fact that she's still a human being, I guess. And, I should be able to be concerned probably about someone's, situation with health and all that. I think that's just, a normal human being response to kind of think about. But, that'll be it. That'll do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and that'll do it. Bye bye.